Welcome to all the Greek myths you think you know and the myths you don't know. I'm your host Emer, and if you're here, then you too adore Greek mythology. I first want to apologize for the quality of these episodes, as I am new to recording podcasts, so bear with me as I get the hang of it. Now on to episode 1, Like Father, Like Son. Before there was Zeus and the Olympian gods, there were the Titans and the gods that created the world as the ancient Greeks knew it. Now there are so many to name that I will try to mention the relevant ones to this story. In the beginning there was Chaos, Eros, and Gaia. According to Hesiod, Chaos was basically a dark, gaping space. There's Eros, and though Eros has many forms in Greek and even Roman mythology, the most important aspect of Eros is whom without no one would exist. Finally, we have Gaia, who is the representation of Earth. She also holds the existence of Tartarus, a grim, terrifying place beneath the earth. From these beings come the gods and all sorts of mythical creatures you can imagine. Chaos produced Erebus, a dark infernal realm, exactly as it sounds. He produced night. Night and Erebus together had day and aether, a being between light and air. Gaia produced Ouranos, who's the sky, the mountains, and Pontos, who's the sea. But it is her children with Ouranos that we turn our attention to, as it will be Ouranos who will be the villain this time around. I know, you're thinking it should be Kronos versus Zeus, but we're not there yet. Ouranos and Gaia will have children known as the Titans. Many names may seem familiar to you, but to recall, they are Oceanus, Thetis, Chios, Phoebe, Hyperon, Theia, Apathus, Themis, Memzani, and I'm so sorry for butchering those names. Gaia also had Hecatoconeris, giants that had 100 arms from the shoulders and 50 heads. Yeah, that did not sound like a fun birthing experience. Last and not least, there was Kronos and Rhea. Now imagine it. These beings are creating a world where they are the ruling power. However, there are gods that do not want to release this power to anyone, even their own children. Enter Ouranos. Ouranos sought to prevent his children with Gaia from emerging from Tartarus and into the light, so he hid them away. I'm going to give you a warning right now. How Ouranos has eventually stopped varies, but I'm following Hesiod's version, which is both horrific and violent, and all I'm saying, I would not want to be a man. So every time Ouranos had sex with Gaia, it was like the world was whole. Heaven and earth were not separated. But it made him vulnerable, and it was Kronos who took advantage of this and waited. And once Ouranos sought pleasure from Gaia, Kronos left his hiding spot and castrated his father, and he threw away Ouranos' genitals. Though Ouranos was still able to produce a few kids with Gaia as this happened, they were the Furies, the Nymphs, and the Giants. An origin story for Aphrodite emerges from this violence that the genitals themselves created her. Though separating Ouranos and Gaia had an immediate effect, the other gods in existence could finally produce kids. From night, we get doom, death, blame, sleep, dreams, deceit, sexual affection, the fates, and discord. So it may seem like everything bad that has happened can be traced back to chaos, but you know that's life. What's life without a little chaos? From Pontos, we get Nereus. Nereus had 50 daughters, which were sea nymphs. Pontos also had a son who fathers the Harpies, and Iris, the divine messenger and goddess of the rainbow. And this is how the Titans become the dominant power, but not for long, because, like father, like son, Kronos takes after his dear old dad, and he too fears his own children will overthrow him. So he does as anyone would do. Each time his sister wife has a child, he swallows them whole. These children will be Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. But wait, what about Zeus? Well, it seems not everybody was happy to see their children being swallowed whole. So we get our first glimpse of a woman being badass, as Rhea births her youngest child, Zeus, in secret. But she knew it wouldn't be long before Kronos found her. So she sends Zeus away and instead swallows a rock in Zeus's place for Kronos to have. I'm going to imagine Kronos may have been a bit dumb, because I think you would notice the difference between swallowing a rock and swallowing a child. Perhaps not? Anyway, Zeus would grow up and his father would be none the wiser that he existed outside his stomach. When they eventually have to face each other, Zeus tricks Kronos into vomiting up his siblings. Zeus then becomes both the youngest child and the oldest with Hestia, and they move to Mount Olympus and become what we know as the Olympian gods. There we have it, guys. The Titans are no longer the most powerful beings anymore. But it won't be long until the Titan Maki, that the Titan rules come to an end. And then we get to experience Zeus, king of the Olympians, father of Hercules, all-round dick, and unfortunately, serial rapist. Join me next time to discover just how did the Olympians defeat the Titans. Thank you. Have a wonderful day from wherever you're listening from.